Hi, this is Praios and I'm a professional gambler. This is, I think, the 9th lesson already, and today I want to talk with you about the most common pre-flop mistakes in Pot Limit Omaha. But if you are a No Limit Holdem player, you definitely should watch this too, because all this is also true for No Limit Holdem. Yeah. Keep in mind that building these courses take a lot of effort and time, and all I ask for in advance in return is that you like and also subscribe to my channel. As this is out of the way, let's now get into the course. So this is the presentation I worked out for you, and let's get into the first mistake many people made. Playing to lose is one of the main issues, and yeah, stay away from hands like the one seen in the screenshot. And yeah, at best study good solid open ranges, and then you will be good to go. This is also true for 3-bet ranges and 4-bet ranges as well. So definitely have a good range and don't play to lose. And yeah, the next mistake I think is also happening a lot is that people lack positional awareness. This means that you, for example, raise the same amount of hands from UTG than from the button. And yeah, this obviously is bad, as if you raise from UTG, there are a lot of players that have position on you and a lot of players who can re-raise you. In comparison, on the button, only 2 more guys are behind you and you will have position on both of them later in the hand. So it's a lot better to raise from the button than from UTG. And yeah, on this little screenshot, you also see the worst and the best position. Small blind is the worst position. The big blind is the second worst position. Then UTG and then MP, and the positions from which you can be most loose is the cutoff and obviously the button. Yeah, if you also lack positional awareness, please go into one of the other lessons where I was discussing raising first in ranges, and yeah, do the course and you will do much better in this task. The next league can be when you play to passive. This means that you basically only have a call button and yeah, don't re-raise enough. This often also goes along with playing too many hands. So definitely fix this league of yours as well if you are one of these passive dudes. And yeah, the opposite can also be true. You might also be play too aggressive. And this means basically that you are not calling or folding enough, and you will always or too often choose the aggressive path. And this is also not good, and you should avoid this mistake too. Next up is having a bad 3-bet and 4-bet range. In this example, you see me re-raising with ace-ace. This is a 4-bet, and yeah, if I would also only 4-bet with ace-ace, I would be perfectly readable, and this would not be ideal. And this means you should have well-balanced ranges. Don't make it easy for your opponents, which could just call and see a flop and yeah, play and continue playing against you once it's not a good flop for aces. Make it harder for them by having a balanced range, where you could also hit other boards than the ones with an ace on it. So yeah, this is one extreme, and this actually is a lot happening on some racks have it, this league. And this league is also very common in live poker, where people usually don't re-raise, and if they re-raise, they usually have ace-ace. And yeah, you should not have this league also incorporate some other hands than ace-ace. We also got lessons about this. So yeah, check them out if you are not good in this topic yet. The next big league would be if you disregard the stack size. The way you should play change a lot depending on the stacks involved. Playing short is a complete different thing when playing mid-stacked, and full stacked and deep stacked are again complete different things. And it can become even more complicated because in reality, people out the table usually don't have the same stack size, but very different ones. As you can see on the screenshot, there's one guy with 400 big blinds, one guy with more than 200 big blinds, so these guys are deep or very deep. There's one guy, it's me, XLF, with 100 big blinds, so I'm full stacked. And two guys with very short stacks, 6 big blinds only and 14 big blinds. And you have to adjust to these circumstances on the table, otherwise you will lose or burn a lot of money. Let's just make an example where you can be doing very badly if you don't see the stack sizes in advance. Let's say where in the big blind is one guy very short with like 6, 7, 8 big blinds. I open another gun, another big stack calls behind me. Everyone folds to the shorty and he's going all in. Now I have a very, very hard time because I have now two options. I could call, hoping that the big stack behind will just call as well. But he might be trapping or might now recognize that I'm weak and re-raise. And I would have to put a lot of money in with potentially a marginal hand. And yeah, if I re-raise, assuming that the other guy is weak, I might also fall into a trap because he might have recognized the table situation and trapped me by foreseeing exactly this happening, hoping that I will reshove on the shorty and then he can trap me with a big hand like aces. So this is a terrible spot to be in, and you should recognize these things before you make the open. And you would adjust to such a situation by raising a much better range, and then you can deal with the scenario a lot better than if you did not recognize it beforehand and then you are in a very shitty spot. So yeah, always look at the stack sizes before making your moves on the table. Yeah, another leak would be if you play or if you defend your blinds incorrect. And yeah, the most common leak is that you defend the blinds too much, especially the big blind, because people think, oh, I already have one big blind invested and I'm getting a great price, therefore I can defend everything. The pot odds are so good and equities run very close together in Pot Limit Omaha. I mean, it's true that equities run together closely, but it's not true that you can defend relentlessly. Actually, against early raises like from UTG, you cannot defend that much, maybe 30% or something. And against the big blind, you can defend a lot more, like 50%. The most you can defend against the small blind. But yeah, if you want to know more about this, also check out my my other video. I'm not sure which lesson it was, but yeah, we had blind defense. At least we had 2 blind defense videos. So one for the big blind, one for the small blind. Check these out if you are not good in this topic yet. And yeah, usually people are too loose. It's not often that people are folding too much out of the blinds. But yeah, one common mistake would be people who, these are usually regulars and people who multi-table or play like 5-table Zoom or something. They often under-defend their big blind against the small blind raise, and against these guys you could steal relentlessly. So yeah, this is also a leak that you should not have. Next one is, this is happening for a lot of guys, especially regulars or professional poker players, they learn their GTO ranges all the time. They stick to them no matter what. And this obviously is stupid, because let's make an example. If you play against someone who is re-raising only ace-ace, and you know it and you see it in the stats, you obviously should not put in marginal 4-bets if this guy has ace-ace basically always. Another example would be the huge 80 VPIP fish. You want to re-raise and isolate him more, and also defend your blinds a lot more against a guy like this. And yeah, you shouldn't stick to GTO ranges when this guy has completely different ranges than the ones optimal in theory. So adjust to your opponents and yeah, adapt for sure. Yeah. Next one. This is one you should never do. I mean, there's one exception, the small blind. But from all other positions, you should always open raise or fold. No limping. Especially in live games, people love to limp. But yeah, this is incorrect. Why is this incorrect? You want to steal these lovely small blind and big blind, and you cannot steal it when you just limp in. Because then the big blind gets a free play, and the small blind often will also get in. You want to take down this dead money, and this is only possible by raising. And you also knock out way more opponents and get the pot heads up, or at least not a family pot if you re-raise. So yeah, raising is definitely the way you should go. Yeah, as I said already, one exception, the small blind. It's okay to limp in from the small blind sometimes, and it's also okay to over limp, but you should not be the one getting in with the limp. If it's a situation where you are too open, then never limp except the small blind. Okay, I think we had this enough now. Let's move on to the next one. This is a leak very common from fish and also from guys who transit from No Limit Holdem to Pot Limit Omaha. They get in love with their big pairs, especially kings. They play them way too aggressively and put too much money in pre-flop, sometimes even getting all the money in. This should not be done. King is way weaker in Pot Limit Omaha than in No Limit Holdem, and you should play a lot more cautious, and it's almost never correct to put all the money in with kings. And in No Limit Holdem, this is like a first pump, get it in, very happy, and yeah, in Pot Limit Omaha, this is simply not true. So don't overplay your king or queen or big pairs in Pot Limit Omaha. Very important. Moving on, I think that's the last point. This is very common by all players, actually. Also many racks down fold enough 2, 3, and 4 bets. And yeah, even some huge streamers say that I don't fold to 3-bet, we don't want to fold to 3-bet. This is the great game of Pot Limit Omaha. I think you probably know who I mean, and yeah. This is actually wrong, so you should fold to 3-bets and 4-bets, and not even that. I mean, you're getting good odds always, but you still have to fold, depending on the position, like 10 to 30%, so yeah, don't fall into this trap. And yeah, I just I made a screenshot from a random YouTube video where people got it in with random hands, and yeah, you should not do this. One guy actually was qualified, the one with aces, but the other guys all have random shit, but for some reason they decided they want to get it in and build a 90k pot or something. So yeah, I think that was it. I hope you enjoyed this lesson and you learned something. If you didn't do it yet, please like, subscribe, and yeah, also share this with your friends. I wish you good luck at the tables, and definitely check out the other lessons too, if this was helpful for you. Yeah, thanks for watching. Bye bye until next time.